Sebastian, and this is for Mrs. Mann class, and I'm reading Armadillo Tattletale by Helen Ketteman. In the bar bones beginning, armadillos as ears were as tall as a jackrabbit's and as wide as a steer's horns. With such wonderful ears, Armadillo could hear anything and everything. He loved nothing better than eavesdropping on the other animals and telling tales about what he heard. But as good as his ears were for hearing, they dragged in the dirt and stuck in the muck after a ran always made him trick. Thus Armadillo was the slowest of creatures. And since the other animals disliked him for telling tales, they beat him to the watering hole every day and forced Armadillo to struggle through the mud for a puddle of murky water to drink. It tasted awful and practically made him sick, so he drank as little as possible and was always thirsty. One day, as Armadillo swam around searching for a puddle, he overheard a great searching for, whispered to Turtle, "Blue Jay's feathers are looking a bit scraggly. I wonder if poor bird is sick. I'll call him tomorrow to see if I can be of help." But Armadillo went to Blue Jay first, twitching his little tail. He spoke. "I heard a Greek talking about you," he said in a sing-song voice. "She thinks you're scraggly looking." Blue Jay squawked. He balked, he squawked and gawked, and otherwise he threw one humongous hissy fit. Squawk, squawk, awk. When Greg heard what had happened, she went straight away to Armadillo. "What you told Blue Jay was not true anyway. My words were not of your ears," she scolded and pecked his ears good and proper. She gave him what for and how come and why not. Armadillo cried great big armadillo tears, and he promised never to tell tales again. But the next day, while searching for mud in a skip of water, Armadillo heard muskrat and butterfly talking. He hid behind the bushes to listen. Rug's rattle used his better be terrible out of tune, but now they sound wonderful. She must be talking music lessons, said Muskrat. Armadillo tripped over where Rattlesnake lay warming herself in the sun. He shifted his weight from foot to foot, and a weird Armadillo danced. Rattlesnake opened his eye, and Armadillo grinned. "I heard Muskrat talking about you," he said. "Your rattle sounds terrible and out of tune." Rattlesnake rattled. She practically and fussed and cussed and otherwise she threw a humongous hissy fit. Rattle, hiss, hiss. What Muskrat heard what happened, he scurried. Armadillo, "You twitched my words into something I did not say," he shrieked. "Besides, my words were not for your ears," and with whack his tail at Armadillo and gave him what for, how come, and why not. Armadillo cried buckets of tears. He promised never ever to tell tales again. But the next day, while slogging through the mud looking for a drink, Armadillo with alligator and blue hair and talking, he stepped behind the rock and listened. Toad's skin is looking so much better than it used to. I wonder if she changed her diet, said Alligator. Armadillo shuffled off to find Toad. I heard Alligator say your skin is plug ugly and you should go on a diet, he said with a twinkle in his eye. Croak, Ribbit, croak! Toad hopped and flopped, and she wailed and she railed, and she otherwise threw the humongous hissy fit. When Alligator found what Armadillo had said, she hurried to find him. Why did you tell Toad those things? I never said them, she snapped. Anyway, my words were not for your ears. She gave him a what for, and a how come, and a why not. And now, she said, I'll fix your ears so you won't be snooping and telling tales again. And she snooped her mouth and gnashed and clashed her big, strong alligator teeth. And then she snipped and clipped at Armadillo's ears until there was nothing left but teeny tiny, itsy wincy little ears. When I finished, Armadillo looked at his reflection in a puddle. His ears were so tiny that he started to cry. Oh, did he cry, raised so rugged that the animals came to see what had happened. When they saw his tears, he knew teeny tiny, itsy wincy little ears. They stared at them and walked. They whispered, Armadillo, stop crying. What? He asked. What are you whispering? Everyone snapped at Armadillo because for the first time he hadn't quite heard. It was not for your ears anyway, Muskrat called out. Armadillo's face turned red. I did not hear the whispers, but I heard that, he said, changing after Muskrat. In seconds, Armadillo caught him. Did you see how fast Armadillo ran? Muskrat shouted. He did not trip at all, added Blue Jay. Why is he so fast now? We'll never be able to keep him away from the fresh water, said Muskrat. Snake. Armadillo felt his teeny tiny, incy little ears. Fresh water, he shouted. It's just what I want. And it's fun, run fast. Then he danced and danced, circles, zigzags, and all the way to the water hole. Where he drank as much fresh, clear water as he wanted. From now on, I'll never be thirsty again. And he wasn't. He also stopped telling tales, for even thought he could hear with his teensy tiny, itsy wincy little ears. He couldn't overhear the animals' contractions. So this day, armadillos have small ears. They always drink their fill of fresh water, and you may hide in the bushes. Listen as long as you like, but you'll never, ever actually catch an armadillo telling tales. This book is Armadillo Tattletale, and Armadillo told on Blue Jay, Frog, and Rattlesnake. And the last time Alligator snapped his little big ears off, the Muskrat slapped his tail at him. And then they were talking. Then he gave him a big peck. One of them gave him a big peck. The peck was first, the slap was second, and the gnawed off the ears was last. Then he could run so fast he tripped over Muskrat, and then Rattlesnake said, "We'll never be able to keep him away from the water now." And then he ran to drink fresh water, and he never was thirsty again. And then he said, "You never will catch a muskrat, armadillo telling tales again." Bye.